Hi, hello, it's Ro, welcome back. So some of you may have noticed I've had a bit of a social media blackout. I haven't uploaded any stories or whatever to Instagram in the last month. And that's because I've been on a social media detox for the month of April. It's not just obviously the Psych Diaries one, but also my personal Instagram, Facebook, and generally the way that I've been using my phone. I've actually completely changed in the month of April. And today I wanted to talk about what I did, what happened, and I've done a lot of these social media detoxes in the past, and I've kind of perfected the protocol that I like now. And it probably takes around like 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so to actually sit down at the start of the month, whenever you want to start this. And there's some apps and there's some things to do and just some ways to set it up to set you up for success, because it's much harder just to say, I'm just going to go cold turkey and not use social media in this month. So today I'll talk you through my specific protocol and then also some changes and observations and just letting you know what April was like for me completely off social media. So firstly, I want to talk about the why. Essentially, I noticed around, March, I was doing a lot of scrolling on days where I didn't feel very good. You know, we have this set amount of discipline or impulse control, and I found that if I was making a lot of decisions during the day, I was stressed out, I was overwhelmed, I'd actually find that I'd collapse on the couch after dinner and I wouldn't want to do anything apart from just scroll and get that dopamine hit. And I noticed that despite the fact that I knew that it wasn't necessarily good for me, and I could feel how exhausted and drained and kind of heavy I felt afterwards. It was really, really hard to stop that habit. And I also noticed that I was picking up my phone probably like many times an hour. It's like any type of break from, moving from one activity to another, even when I was like brushing my teeth, like I would just instinctively pick up my phone just to get some sort of dopamine hit. And I just found that my days were being filled up by my phone. So I wanted to stop that. And I know that in order to do so, it wasn't about doing it for 2 days. I wanted to really change it and make it a habit. And so I committed the month of April to it. So let's talk about the specific protocol. There's a couple of things that I do. Firstly is I actually go into the back end of Instagram and Facebook and I actually deactivate my account. This means that during that month, no one can invite you to things or tag you in things. No one can actually DM you through those things. And so you never have that feeling of like, oh, I have to go check my messages because, what if someone messaged me? They actually can't reach you. They can reach you through Messenger because it's a separate thing from Facebook. Deactivation is also really helpful because before, when I used to just say, oh, I won't open Instagram, say a friend sends you like a video or a meme or something. If you click into it, it opens your Instagram account, and then often I would get sucked right back into that black hole. So deactivating it meant it was like kind of like actually offline for the entire month. The second thing is I downloaded this thing called O Launcher. And what it does is it makes your phone into like a list. And hopefully I can bring it up, but it makes your phone into a list of apps. And instead of you seeing all the like colored little apps and you have your place where you have your Instagram and it's just a habit now, you just see a list and it's of words, and then you pick like your favorites, and then you can actually go down and this is your entire list of apps. Part of the reason why I was getting so addicted was like I opened it and there were so many different apps and I just kind of pick whatever kind of suited my fancy on the day. Whereas with this, I have to go in very intentionally and I have to go, oh, I'm trying to look for my Gmail. And instead of being just attracted and having it there, you actually have to go like type in Gmail in order to open it. This has significantly reduced my screen time and my reliance on this. Next thing is open up your Chrome browser or Safari browser, whatever you use on your phone, because without Instagram or Facebook, you can still access those apps through your browsing browser. So I set up a 30-minute per day limit on my browser, not because I was using those social media sites, but because I would go and use it for other types of kind of scrolling, like news sites or Reddit or forums. Like you just find yourself itching for stimulation. So cut that out as well and set a limit for 30 minutes just so you can Google stuff during the day. Like you still want to find like, where's this restaurant or where did this country, just because I still needed to use Google for other things. And the last thing is I deleted pretty much any app that I knew I would get into that dark hole of scrolling. So Instagram, Facebook, and I also deleted YouTube as well. And then Chrome, I had that time limit. All right, let's go into some of the stuff that I noticed. So in the first week or so, I was like addicted. I was like an addict. Like I found myself constantly reaching for my phone, and I would reach it and then I'd realize that I don't have the social media or the scrolling stuff available. So I'd go and scroll my calendar, or I'd go into Google Maps and I'd be like, where am I? What's around me? I'd find myself going to my emails, I went a lot into my photos, and I was just trying to find some sort of stimulation, and it actually took a long time before that stopped. It was so just second nature to pull out my phone for no particular reason. I noticed that, and that did eventually fade, but yeah, it probably took about a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks before that completely faded. It also helped a lot because I didn't start with the O launcher. As soon as I put in the O launcher, that was probably what kind of curbed it and helped me stop picking up my phone and randomly pressing apps. If you guys actually try this yourself, I want you to notice how long it takes for that habit to actually die down. It's not even the act of opening up a social media thing, it's just the act of taking your phone out and looking at it when I didn't need to, and there was no actual value in looking at my phone. I found that instead of using tech, I was substituting reading a lot. And so in April, I read the most books that I have recently. These are all of the books that I read. I'll try to put it up. You end up substituting because you do have a bit of a time gap, and I'll talk a bit about something else I substituted. But the first thing was I read way more, and I felt so happy about that. I was reading fiction, I was reading, some of it was nonfiction, but most of it was just completely for fun. I noticed such a difference between after half an hour of reading and after half an hour of scrolling. There's a real settledness after reading, and especially before bed. It just was so fun to settle down and do like 2 hours of reading, as opposed to, usually you're in a jumble, you're scrolling, you're on tech, and then you only have like a half an hour wind down period. So yeah, that was awesome. After a while, I found that my brain started to settle, and obviously it wasn't every day. Some days I definitely got up and I was like, ugh. But you end up just spending more time doing nothing. And I wanted that feeling of kind of being bored and just being. So you'd walk down the street and I wouldn't feel the urge to listen to music or a podcast. I'd sit down and eat and I wouldn't feel the urge to have my phone out, to watch something. I'd sit on the light rail or the train or the bus, and I would just sit, and I wouldn't have to do anything in particular. And at first it does feel kind of boring, but after a while it ends up feeling quite calming. You just feel a bit more settled. Your brain slows down a little bit, takes a bit of a breath, and you just get to relax into it. So that was the feeling that I was looking for, this kind of letting go of the rush and always needing to occupy your brain with something. And it takes a bit of time. So if you're struggling with that and you feel like your brain always needs stimuli, push through it and keep going. You will get to that sense of like calm and things slowing down soon. And the last thing is you just kind of realize you don't miss out on anything groundbreaking. Like, I've been off the entire month and I didn't miss out on any events. I don't think I missed out on any type of connection. In fact, I feel much more connected to me and my life and the world that I'm living in. You really find that once you're not on it all day long, it's not that helpful to my life. Like, it really doesn't add that much. And yeah, no one was really hankering to message me. I had no urgent messages. The first couple of nights I was definitely waking up going like, oh, did anyone message me in the nighttime? Yeah, that there really is no significant difference in my quality of life having it and not having it. In fact, all I can really see are the pros of not using it as much. And in terms of connection, I used WhatsApp, I used Messenger, I used meeting up in person, and all of those feel way better than the tech part of it. So yeah, I highly, highly recommend a detox. It's not always easy. I definitely had like relapsey periods where I'd somehow managed to get into YouTube through my Chrome browser and be scrolling shorts, and it would be like wonky and not fit the screen properly. But you know what? It was occasional, and it was much less than what I would have done if it was all downloaded and I was using my phone like normal. So I'm keeping the O launcher actually. I really like just having a very minimalist phone. It's much less addictive, and I found that I've definitely used my phone way, way less in the last month, and I'm hoping to continue that I'm not planning to stop anytime soon. So maybe that's the new permanent way that I use my phone. So yeah, I really just wanted to share that. I really enjoyed this month of the detox. I'll definitely do it again soon. And if you're interested or if you have any questions, then let me know. And yeah, hopefully we all get on just taking a break and giving our brains a bit of a break from social media. Alrighty, I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you all next Thursday. Bye.